Welcome back, Recovered Souls, to another podcast with your host here, Yafa Shifra. Thank you for joining us in 2024. Happy New Year. Happy New Gregorian New Year. And so today, I just want to give thanks and praises to the Most High for allowing us to cross over into this new season. And I come with a word today, an encouragement, a heavy one, to let you know, beloved, this is your vindication season. Okay? The Most High is exonerating you from all the lies, their lying tongue that has been perpetrating false narrative against your ethics and your integrity. You are being exonerated in this season from the shame, accusations, smear campaign, and sabotage that you have gone through in the past. A lot of you have been hanging your heads down low because some really detrimental sabotaging of your character has been smeared through a vicious cycle of campaigns. And these are people who have done you wrong, but have shifted the blame, that have gone out and gathered their flying monkeys and other toxic rivals who would actually sit in cahoots to shift blame on you. A lot of you have suffered at the hands of envious and jealous individuals. And a lot of misfortunes has happened in your life because of these horrible things that has been done to you. But I came by to let you know that this is your vindication season, beloved. I want to tell you or remind you of a story about a young lad in sacred text. He was a Hebrew young man, and this is a historical story that you can find in any Abrahamic religion, sacred texts including Islam, Christianity, Judaism, or Hebrewism. The story of Joseph, or his Hebrew name, Yehovasab. Now, he had a lot of dreams, and he was well favored among his brothers in the eyes of his father. And one day, Joseph, he talked about this dream that he had, and he had a few, but one dream in particular where the sun, the moon, and the 12 stars bowed to him. And he told his father about this dream. He told his brother. Another time he dreamt that his brothers, their sacks were bowing down to his sack. And so, of course, they were infuriated because they're like, who the heck do you think you are? that spirit of envy got in there. Like, no way. We're not bowing down to you. Well, Yahweh, he had a call upon his life and he began to dream. But what happened, because he didn't have the right direction on how to conserve or disclose very deep things such as this, from exposing it into the wrong air, it cost him. But it was all a plan of the Most High for him to go through this, because all of the evil that came upon him was actually a setup for the future, for the call and the position he was being sanctioned into. And so, to make a long story short, his brothers, they plotted his demise. They wanted to take his life, but mercy was upon the elder brother, Reuben. He asked them to just put him down in a pit with hope in mind to come back and to deliver him from out of this pit. But when he was gone, his brothers actually sold him to a caravan of traders. And so he ended up being sold into Egypt as a slave. But even in his low position, Yahweh still received uncommon favor from the Most High and those who he came in contact with. Even in his master's house, he was well loved. And of course, for those who know the story, after going through a series of just misfortune and hard luck and bad luck, Potiphar's wife, his master's wife, Yahweh was said to be a very beautiful man. And so she was filled with desire for him. And because he was integral and he had ethics, he didn't want to lie with his master's wife. In fact, he flee from her, and she got rid of all the servants one day so she could have him at her own leisure. But he ran, and what happened when he ran away from this temptation, she was able to snatch his robe, his garment. It was torn, and she used it to show her husband that Yahweh tried to lie with her, tried to violate her. And so he was placed in the dungeon. And even when he went into the dungeon with this lie, this conspiracy upon his head, I can't even imagine what he felt, all the trauma he went through, being rejected and sold by his own brothers. And now he finds himself in hot water, being lied on, with his reputation being smeared. I could only imagine the trauma and PTSD, CPTSD he was going through. But even in the dungeon, the Most High still had his hands upon this young man. And the soldiers the prison keepers, they favored him and they put him in charge of the other prisoners. And he was able to interpret the dreams of two of the prisoners who were sad one morning, and they shared the dream, and he told them what was going to happen to each one of them. And so he told one of the fellas, when you get back into your position, the cupbearer, please remember me. But Pharaoh's cupbearer quickly forgot about Yahweh. Now, I believe it was the Almighty's will that he forgot because it wasn't his time to shine or to be in his position yet. Sometimes we just have to go through a process to prepare us for this big thing the Almighty has destined for our lives to come into fruition. And so it happened sometime later that Pharaoh had this dream, and it was troubling, and no one could interpret that dream. And finally, the cupbearer said, there's a Hebrew guy. He was in the prison, the dungeon with me, and he could interpret. He interpreted everything that happened to me and the baker, that I would be restored and that the baker head would be taken away from him, from the birds. And so it was. And so Pharaoh sent for this guy. He sent for Joseph, and Joseph came, and he, through the mercy and the knowledge of the Most High, was able to interpret this dream fully. And it left such an impact that Pharaoh placed Joseph second in command in Egypt. Okay? Now I'm telling this story for a reason, because I want you to know this is your exonerated season. You have gone through hell and back. And honey, some people have done some messy things to you. You have been employed on jobs where you've been lied on, and you were removed from that job without them even asking your side of the story. You have been kicked out of communities or friendship cycles or circles because of fabrication of your true nature, and people gobbled it up without hearing your side of the story. They chose to believe the lies. Some of you have been imprisoned, like Joseph, for a lie that someone told on you. Some of you have had losses of opportunities because someone decided to sabotage you. But I'm telling this story because this is the most profound story in history to confirm your restoration and vindication season is here, beloved. My sweet baby, let me tell you, all the bad that has happened in your life has been preparing you for this time and this place. And your preparation season was never wasted time. I know you cried, and I know they took away your voice to speak up for yourself. But you don't have to do anything, beloved. The Most High is speaking up for you. He's exonerating you. Now let me get to the point of this story. Joseph, or Yehoshaphat, was placed in a kingly position. Later on, his brothers, during the famine, remember, for those who know this story, he interpreted Pharaoh's dream with 7 years of plenty. And during those years of plenty, he and the entire Egyptian communities were supposed to harvest and store up for the 7 years of famine that was going to follow. And so it did. It did happen as he prophesied, as he predicted or interpreted the dream. And so what happened next during the famine, Jacob, or Yasharal, his name is called, was sent. He sent his sons to go up into Egypt to buy produce and grains and provision. And they went out there. They didn't know that was Joseph, their brother, because he was in kingly attire. And this is another thing. When you are restored, people aren't going to even be able to identify who you are. And so, things happened. And they finally realized who Joseph was. He revealed himself. And they were afraid. And he told them, "You meant it for evil, but the Almighty meant it for good." So he was able to be a blessing to his family, his enemies, even in that moment. So now, let me get back to you, my sweethearts. It doesn't matter what they've done to you. The Most High is going to clear your name. Let me be transparent and give you a story time, or a few of my stories. I've been in positions in corporate America where the favor of the Most High was upon me, and I did my work with excellence. And there were many who became jealous. And every time they tried to sabotage me and to get me fired, something happened with one of our clients who would actually write the corporate center. And that letter would get into the hands of the VP or some executive. Now, the client did not know what was going on personally in the workplace concerning me with my job on the line, but somehow the Most High would allow someone to call in, and I would save them from leaving the company by the excellent services or whatever I did to compensate or rectify their grievance with our corporation. And we would just end the call. They would be happy and thankful, and I didn't think about anything. The next thing I know, I'm being called by my manager or some executive letting me know, "Listen, The client sent this letter way up to corporate head saying how you spared them from leaving this company. And, they went on and on talking about my accolades and my services. And the people who were wanting or perpetrating for me to be fired, they ended up being fired in my place. And I could tell you other countless of stories where people, they just tried to bury me, but they didn't know I was a seed to come forth with much fruit. So I want to encourage you and let you know when people are doing their smears, the people who believe them, don't worry about it. I know it hurts, but eventually they're going to see who these people really are. The smoke screen is going to be removed, and they're going to realize, wait a minute, I've had that happen as well many times where someone gossiped and lied about me and called me out of my name, and people came back and apologized for believing what they heard about me because what they were seeing in my character didn't line up. And then on the other hand, I've had situations where people went to lie on me to an executive or someone. They stopped them in their track and said, no, you don't know Yafa. That's not Yafa. You're the problem, not Yafa. So your good deeds will come forth. The light you shine in darkness, no matter what and no matter how long the years are, you're going to be exonerated, beloved. I can testify to that. And I want to let you know what is in my spirit. This is your vindication season. I went through a situation about, let's say, 14 years ago, where something happened and I was not given a chance to speak up for my rights. And the person I used to help and was a loyal friend to mistreated me and handled me wrongly. And for 14 years, I never got a chance to speak my rights. Last year, 2023, during the latter part, this person contacted me and told me, I forgive you. And I kind of snapped, not in a bad way, snapped, but my voice, I used my voice and I told the person what happened and I called the person out. And, I put them in their place and I said, how dare you talk about forgiving me when you didn't hear the story? And when I laid the story out, no stones unturned, they became embarrassed and they apologized. And that was a vindication period for myself. And so where you felt your voice, you didn't have a voice, they took it from you, believe me, you're going to either have a chance to speak up for yourself, there will be an opportunity, and shame and disgrace will come upon those people, or the Most High himself is going to allow something to happen where he vindicates you. He prepares the table before you in the presence of your enemies. Believe me, it's coming. And in that, they will be shame. They will be ashamed as well. Every lie they told on you, every smear campaign, and every shame you've had to go through, it stops here. The gig is up because the Almighty is exposing everything that was done in darkness. There's a lot of people who've done you dirty and you don't even realize they've been suffering in silence for months and years. Some of these people are going to come back asking for your forgiveness. And some of them, they're going to actually, hide themselves from you, but somewhere, somehow, you're going to find out what's happened. You don't have to fight nothing. The Most High is the best vindicator. He's the best person to bring vengeance, not you. You cannot bring vengeance better than the Almighty. When He does it perfectly. And I don't want to bore you with all my stories, but I can tell you stories upon stories about me being exonerated. And so those opportunities that you've lost because of sabotage and lies, they're coming back around full circle, but they're going to be even greater opportunities. You haven't missed anything. You're going to get everything that was stolen from you through lies and deceit. See, lies and deceit, they don't last, The wicked only prospers for a season. Some of these people can't even sleep at night for what they've done. They're being punished. What they've sowed, they are reaping, or what the world calls karma. Good karma and bad karma. It's the same concept, the laws of sowing and reaping. And so you don't have to fight for yourself. You have the greatest fighter on your side, because the Most High, He's a present help in the time of trouble. And He's a strong tower. And He hides us under the cleft of His rock and under His wings. And so, yes, it hurts, but He allows us to go through these things because He has a powerful seed like Joseph for us to walk in. And as we're going through these things, it builds character. It builds things in us that we don't want to behave in that way towards other people. So you don't have to worry, my sweet babies, my beautiful kings and queens, because you're getting ready to sit on your throne in your rightful position. And your enemies are becoming your footstool. Don't worry about the lies they told. And the people who believe it, you don't have to worry. It's just a warning. Those are people you need never to be around or trust. But I guarantee you, after a while, people are going to look side-eye and say, this person keeps talking about so-and-so, but you know what? They're the problem, because your light is going to keep shining. Your integrity and your ethics are going to speak for themselves or itself. So you don't have to do anything to prove your value or your integrity. It will speak for you, beloved. And so this is going to be the beginning of the beginnings of new beginning for you, where you're being restored. Everything that was stolen or you've lost, it's coming back full circle, but it's gonna be 100 times more, 100-fold more plus, okay? So I'm going to end the podcast here. I love you from the top and bottom of my heart and soul. Know that you are loved, beloved, and you are not alone. And the Most High, He is fighting for you. You can't see it yet, but I guarantee you, this is your vindication season, and you are being exonerated. I'm smiling because my soul and everything in my spirit feels this so strongly. And you watch and see. And many of you are going to be sending me messages in the comments or whatever, letting me know, yes, I've been exonerated. And you deserve every good thing coming your way. I love you so, so much. And beloved, you be safe. And you take care of your health and your well-being. And everything is going to be fine. Your restoration is here. Your crown is being restored, baby. Many blessings to you. Hugs and kisses. Mwah. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And please leave those wonderful comments you have been leaving. They're so encouraging. You take care for now. Bye-bye, beloved.